I thought maybe I should get my blood tested. You never know what's going to happen there. And a nurse at Kaiser Oakland handed me a piece of paper, and she looked at me with those big brown eyes, and she goes, you know, you have special blood, the rarest blood type there is. Only a few out of 1,000 people have AB negative. She says, I have other patients coming up, and I don't really have time to go into this, but if you go to the blood bank, they'll fill you in on the details one day if you decide you could help a lot of people with that blood. So finding out the research, when I went to the blood bank at Claremont Avenue, I found out that AB negative is the universal plasma and platelet donor, which means that when my blood is separated into components, which is the technique that they refer to as apheresis, that anybody can take my platelets or plasma, which is crucial in trauma patients who come into the ER, gunshot victims, burn victims. They need plasma right away, and the doctors may not have time to type their blood. So what they'll reach for first, if it's there, is AB or AB negative plasma or platelets, because that's the universal donor. So in a sense, I felt that the more often that I went, that I was achieving my destiny, that it was my calling. I used to be a competitive cyclist, and I could never win any of those bike races. But I realized maybe this is really my true calling. So I kind of approached it like a sport and just kept going and going. And the greatest feeling that you can have when you're donating blood is when the body regenerates what you've given. And you can feel that regeneration powering you up. And you say, my body's regenerating from my own needs, but also I'm helping other people. I would encourage people to say, if you've been before, go again. And if you can go a lot, like my son says, Dad, I'm not going to do it like you do it. He's been a few times, and he also is a platelet donor. But my motto for myself, and it might inspire others, is that when you're really thinking about the most good that you could do in your life, it would be give the most you can of the best thing that you have as often as possible. So I would tell people, hey, think about giving more often if you can. And whatever inconvenience or discomfort there might be, that pales in comparison with what people who have cancer or severe injury are going through. Blood is a life-saving drug. So I actually had a conversation with a doctor at Kaiser Oakland where I said, I'm a one-man drug company, aren't I? I'm a manufacturer, a supplier, a distributor. And she looked at me and I thought she was gonna shake her head, but she actually said, you know, you're right. So the need is constant. That's the Red Cross motto. And I actually wrote a poem about it. If you can see in the background, the jacket, Apheresis, that's a title that they gave me, Apheresis Hero. Once again, that's really humbling, and it's a great honor. But I thought about it because my dad was an English teacher. I said, I bet you I could come up with a little poem. Here we go. I wrote my thesis on apheresis, and I'm here to say I'm the apheresis hero, the Northern California way. I don't know who has my plasma or the platelets that I give, but it's all good because it's AB negative, helping people live. Now that the Red Cross is giving free antibody COVID tests along with the blood donation, you can see it on your app after the blood donation that you either have the antibodies or are negative. Hopefully that could be helpful. That the appointments do fill up, so it's best to get in there and try to download the app and then schedule your own appointments. I've been in there at 7 o'clock in the morning. I've been in there with on crutches with a broken leg. You got to have that commitment. So just like a lot of the things that I do in life, I tend to go for it all out. Some people think it's a little bit much, but I figure it's better to be too much than not enough.